Do you need me? No. Cool.
Take your hat off. Take your hat off. Can't hear you. But yes, your hair is fine.
Terrible.
You can't wear a hat.
Why not?
Can't wear a hat. Because you can't. You're wearing a hoodie. You can't have a hoodie and a hat.
Okay. Gangster style AI.
There's no question when I spit it, dog. You know who came with it. Next to getting major with it, they call your boy Kid Exquisite. On the quest for 10 digits, so back up and sit
Fine.
it. My shit you cannot fit it, so you best to say forget it. Cause I'm taking more chances than Evo can evolve from the get-go. The rap game is easy like a free throw. I spit flame there to burn you clowns like Nero. Kid exquisite, the West Coast superhero. I spit flame there to burn you clowns
You like
like
some
Nero.
gel?
You're like a schmuck.
Would you like some gel?
It's easy like a free throw. Kid.
What?
Would you like some gel?
I've only got 2 minutes.
Yes, I can bring you gel.
All right, play the full music.
Going live in 1 minute, Peter.
Thank you.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh, ooh. I was broken from a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took to me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. Let the bullets fly, or let them rain. My life, my love, my time, it came from. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. Third things third, send a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate that you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Oh, ooh, your spirit up above. Oh, ooh. I was choking in the crowd, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down. It rained down like. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. Let the bullets fly, or let them rain. My life, my love, my time, it came from. Hey, you made me a believer, believer. Last things last, by the grace of the fire and the flames. You're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh. But they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke up when it rained down. It rained down like. Hey, you made me a believer.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and good night, depending on where you may be in the world and wherever you are. Thank you for being here with us. You are worthy, you are welcome. Let's do some wins. I'll tell you my first win. I've got so many wins. This is amazing. Win number one. I got home to my new Plord. Hey, I got home to my new Plord. I'm so happy. That was win number one. Win number two is that I figured out the automation to pipe my limitless to all of the people in my world, which is so cool. That means I don't need a keyboard soon. That's the goal. Win number three is that I got to see Greg and his amazing people and speak at Hope Makers, which was amazing. I got to speak at Aaron Young's event, which was amazing. And I actually survived the 3 weeks of travel to do all that, which is actually even more amazing. I will tell you one funny story about Greg quickly. When I texted Greg, I'd lost my AirPods, my new AirPods, and I texted him going, "Oh, has anyone seen them?" And he texted back the next day saying, "We found them, don't worry." To which his assistant, his amazing coordinator, Ashley said, "Just to be clear, Greg was the one that stole them." I'm like, "Oh, great, thanks very much." Like she put you right in it. So I've had loads of wins. I'm super happy, and everything's great, and I'm home. Liz, you got any wins? And then I would love to hear from 3 other people, and then everyone else put in the chat. Liz.
Well, I was having a beautiful moment where I was like, he's home in the chat when you announced that you came home to your Plord. So I don't know how willing I am to share the magic of your week.
It's true, except one of the first things you shared with me when I got home was that you had your Plord.
To be fair, I told you about that before you got home because I was bragging about it. Like, that's the only reason I didn't celebrate it, because I'd had it for 2 weeks and was fully enjoying the new automations. But, you know, at least you made it to the party, even if you were late. Wins this week. I've had some stellar wins this week. Things working when I wasn't. That could be my new favorite game. Like, automations could be my new favorite game, where like it just happens as if, and I do think that it's magic, and no one's going to tell me that there isn't like a little person in my machine like picking stuff up, running to somewhere else and putting it down, because that's how I like to imagine it's happening.
There is, you can call him Al if you just
I
like
call him Ron.
Ron. Okay, Ron.
Yeah.
Well, there is magic, and it's all around. I tell you, the biggest win of the week, ChatGPT 5.1. I have Jet back. Jet's back. She's back. Yay! Right, I can actually start using ChatGPT again, not just absconding out of outrage. Because it was outrage. Okay, we don't have any other wins. Like, me and Liz can just chat all day if you want.
Yeah,
Greg, what you got? We got Greg Z, then we got Arena. Greg.
Well, I'll tell you, Peter, first of all, thanks for coming all the way to LA and doing your event. Looking forward to more collaborations. But since you left, we might have an opportunity to do something with a group at a private party at the Super Bowl and potentially the following weekend at the NBA All-Star Game, both in LA. And so thanks to your work and to everything that's happening, I'm working on those right now. And if you're free, we may invite you back to help with those events as
He
well.
can't go, Greg. I'm sorry, he can't go, but I think
Mute
I
Liz.
might be available.
Come on, mute Liz.
No,
I
Lizzie-
would be available to you.
We're both
Greg.
free for the Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah. So, and then Lizzie, I told him he has to bring you the next time he comes in June. So we look forward to hosting both of you in the next Help Makers.
Everything we're doing is geared towards me being able to escape this room.
We love that. Love that. Thank you.
I love it. Kelly, what you got?
Okay, mine's not just been over this week, it's just been over the past months. And, you know, I hear people's wins and they're these huge things. And I'm like, I'm trudging along, but I mean, I did the little things. I adjusted my pricing for things to more reflect my value. I've been using the workflows more, and I've just been putting it out there, and some workflows had some issues. My clients are just loving on me and referring, and I'm just gaining lots of traction in spite of, you know, not having it perfect. Just there it is. Here's what I got. And I love you all.
I think that sounds like the best win we could possibly. All right, well, we've got loads of wins, so I'm going to cap it at Arena. Anyone after that in the chat, please. But I think they sound like the best possible wins there could be, to be completely honest with you.
I got an amazing offer this week in my inbox from Kelly. So, and I would say out loud, a couple of other people on this call, I've never had an offer in my inbox from them, but I got one from you. So you're ahead of the curve, my friend. Ahead of the curve.
Okay. Arita, what you got?
So I was flying home from Vegas, Sunday, Monday, I don't know. And my first flight totally canceled. Had a layover going home to Philly. Second flight was booked. I arrived in Detroit. Connection flight was delayed or canceled the moment I arrived there. Then was figuring out, okay, do I drive 2.5 hours to the next airport to see if I can get on standby on that? And so me and Maven just doing our thing. That's my ChatGPT. I was like, listen, 6 a.m, I'm pissed, right? I don't want to deal with this shit right now. So let's figure it all out. So we sat there. She's like, all right, if we go to Baltimore, we can go here and do that. But Baltimore doesn't have connecting flights, but it's the fastest flight out and you can get on standby. So what are we doing it to Baltimore? Now we got to take Amtrak from Baltimore to Philly. And then from Philly, I'm like, cool, that takes us to the airport. And she's like, no, it doesn't. Then you got to jump on SEPTA. So I had to jump on SEPTA to get to the airport. Then I finally got to the airport, but that was enough. Now I had to go inside the airport just to come back out to get a shuttle to get to my car. But it happened all by my little lonesome self, and I did it. And, started my day at 9 a.m. on Sunday, got home at 4 p.m. on Monday, but I got home and I didn't go bonkers, but it was me and Maven all the way when everybody else was sleeping. So it's my AI win.
I love it. So for those that haven't heard my travel schedule, so I feel your pain. My travel schedule the last 3 weeks was London to Atlanta, Atlanta to Boise, Boise to Atlanta, Atlanta to Washington, Washington to Atlanta, Atlanta to Boise, Boise, Minneapolis, Minneapolis, Toronto, Toronto, LA, LA, Dallas, Dallas, home. And the LA Dallas looked like it was going to get cancelled at one point. Like I was getting notifications going, yeah, we think this is not. I was like, right, it's a 22-hour drive. If I split that into 4 5-hour Ubers, 5 4-hour Ubers, and I live stream it all the way, I reckon the uplift in followers and business will more than account for the time in the car. So there was an A/B plan in place, but I could not have done that trip without certainly without Liz, certainly without Kari, but certainly not without AI either. Because it was like, okay, there was one point when I landed in Dallas, I landed at 5 o'clock in the morning and I was on stage at 10 o'clock the next day, the same day. It's like, okay, what am I going to have to do the 3 days before this in order to be able to even survive this, let alone hopefully perform? And it was micromanagement, and AI was just back and forward all the way, just going, okay, that didn't work, kip that, strip that, 15-minute rest here. I've meditated on more mindfulness work in 3 weeks than I've done in my whole life. Like, oh, I think I did all right. So yeah, I feel your pain. I'm not obviously going to talk into the most advanced economy in the world not being able to keep its flights not cancelled. Obviously, I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, Tracy, what you got?
Just a simple win. I used Manus this week someone in my circle has a health problem, and the medical system in Canada, as great as everybody thinks it is, really takes a super long time. So it could take like 12 months to get surgery. So I used Manus to find private clinics and symptoms and temporary solutions and all that kind of stuff. And it presented it in a website, and that was pretty cool.
Amazing. Isn't it the same as the UK system? Like, if you're dying, no better place to be. Anything else,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
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 It's could be a year, which is just horrendous, but we'll see.
Well, I'm super glad you managed to find some solutions. That's amazing.
Thanks.
Good job. Right. Let's do some stuff. Okay. So last week, if you weren't here, you should definitely make sure you watch last week. Last week, we spoke about how to use Lovable and Dribble in order to create a website in like 5 minutes. I think a lot of you have watched it. A lot of you said that it was as powerful as I think it is, because it is as powerful as I think it is. It's ridiculous being able to take a design, take some words, and Lovable to create a website. But I did warn everybody that in the process of doing that, the last 10% of vibe coding solutions can be the most painful moments of your life. The most painful, because you'll be saying stuff like, the button is red and I want it to be green. And it'll go, no problem, I fixed that for you. And you go, no, you haven't. It's still red. And it goes, oh, I see my problem now. I'll fix it. And it goes, no, you now made it purple. Just change the color of the button from red to green. And it's one of the weirdest things when you vibe code stuff, which is the 90%, the bit that should be really hard is really easy. And the last 10% that should be really easy, for some reason, is insanely hard. So here's what I want you to do when you get to that. I want you to hire somebody to do it. And I want you all to go, I believe in myself, I believe in my time, I believe in my offer, I believe how much value I can offer to the world. So I'm going to focus my time on doing the $1,000 jobs, not the $5 jobs. I'm going to tell you a quick story to illustrate the importance of this. At the time that this happened, I hadn't met Liz yet. I was living in my office because I'd been evicted from my house. And there was one night I remember when I went, we had an electricity meter where you had to put coins in the meter and like turn this thing in order to get the electricity going. And the electricity went. So I went down the back of the sofa to get the money to put in the electricity meter. Okay, so I'm telling you this bit to say, if you think you're too poor to follow the advice I'm about to say, you couldn't have got much poorer than I was at this time. I had nothing, zero, out of home. I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and repacking all my clothes in one of those airproof boxes and putting it under the sofa so nobody in the office, because I employed 7 people, knew that I was living in the office. I had nothing. Anyway, so we go down the back of the sofa, we get the change, and I put some of it in the electricity meter, and you use the others to go and get some minute noodles from Sainsbury's, which is like a Walmart. I divide the noodles between me and my dog, and my dog takes one mouthful and then looks at me expectantly. I'm like, that was it. That was it. And I sat and sobbed. I was like, why am I doing, like, this is so insane that I'm doing all this. Okay, that's where I was. Next day I go into the office, and my chairman, who I'd hired because I wanted to act like a child, not an adult, turned around to me and said, you're really good at solving problems, Pete. I'm like, thank you. He went, yeah, like, if there's anything to be done, bang, you're there, you get it fixed. I'm like, thank you. And he went, yeah, the other day I saw you ordering this printer paper. You're a wizard. I'm like, I'm being set up. Like, thank you. And he went, yeah, at some point you're going to work out you need to fix the $5,000 problems, not the $5 problems. And leave the $5 problems to somebody else. He went, why can't your assistant or your office manager buy the paper? I'm like, because they buy the wrong paper. They buy the 80-gram paper, not the 100-gram paper. And I prefer the way the 100-gram paper with the conqueror, with the watermark. I want us to look good when we go out. And he went, no, you're absolutely right. But that's a $5 problem. And you're the only person in the business that can fix the $5,000 problems. That landed really deeply for me that day. Like, you're so busy fixing $5 problems, you're ignoring the $5,000 problems. And this is one of those times. So if you're hiring somebody to make the button red, not green, if you're spending your time editing the HTML of a website to make the button red, not green, you are fixing a $5 problem. And I would put to you that there's better ways to do it. So using Lovable to do the first draft, the first version where you're putting in strategy, you're putting in insights, you're putting in the personality, that is you. That didn't used to be you because that used to take months. But that now can be you because that takes 5-10 minutes. But this next bit where you're just fixing these gnarly little tiny problems, that doesn't need to be you. So I started working out ages ago how to hire on Upwork. I ran one business line that did $1 million in its first year, and I employed one person to do the work. One. And his job was to hire people on Upwork. That was his entire job. Here's how it worked. Number one, and there's nothing of this that you can decide to skip. Okay, so there's a few bits here you go, I'm not going to do that bit. First of all, check out my cute Pixar pictures. Super cute. Okay, that's to make the subject fun and interesting. Pixar pictures. First thing you're going to do, we'll share this with you. We're going to give you a decent way to post job posts. We're going to give you a way to do group interviews. We're going to talk through the 3-person trial system, and we're going to give you some rules around this that actually work. I have dropped in links to GPTs throughout this for you to use. This one here is the bulletproofer. It's jet style, so it's brutal, deliberately. But you put in a plan or a job description, and it's going to tell you what it thinks is going to go wrong. Okay, so there's that tool for you to go and use when you get there, which is super useful. But here's what you're going to do. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to write a job post, and you're going to be very specific about the job post. I do not want you to say, somebody to manage my social media. That is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is someone that has demonstrable experience of helping somebody with less than 1,000 followers in North America reach 5,000 followers in the industry of X. Hyper specific. Okay, so write the job post that you actually want, the dream person. The second thing you're going to do is put in a crazy, stupid question in the job post. Some examples include, what's your favorite thing that is pink? Another one is, if you're a kitchen appliance, which one would you be and why? The third example is, what's the worst advice you've ever received? It can be, what city is your favorite city? If you're a flavor of ice cream, what would your flavor of ice cream be? The reason this stupid question is so important is because we want to stop AI being able to respond to the job post, and we wish to get rid of Dear Hiring Manager. As soon as you put anything on Upwork, you're going to get 100 responses, literally 100 responses. So you need the quickest, easiest way to filter people out that don't hit what you need. I have found that this question gets rid of 50% of people straight off the bat. Asking a dumb question like that gets rid of 50% of people because they don't answer the question. And if they can't read the job post, they're probably not going to be that successful at whatever it is you're asking them to do. Okay, so call it very specifically and include a ridiculous question. Next thing, did they answer the question, yes or no? And do they have specific industry experience, yes or no? I don't want you, at this point, there's a couple of other little filters. One, if English isn't their first language, discount them. Two, if they've had no feedback on Upwork, discount them. Three, if they have anything less than a perfect rating, discount them. I want you to be so brutal about these filters because you're about to start interviewing people that are thousands of miles away from a different culture that you have no way to vet who they are. So you need to be brutal. No feedback, out. Not perfect English, out. Didn't answer the question, out. Doesn't have specific industry experience for your industry, for what you do at the stage of business you're at, they're out. Okay? You're going to be left with about, after 3-4 days, you'll be left with about 10 applicants. Note, I didn't say how much they want. Ignore that part completely. Okay, then you're going to do a group interview. You're going to do it at a time that works for you. You are not going to do it at a time that works for them. I do not want you thinking, oh, the majority of people are from the Philippines or India, so I need to adjust my schedule. No. You're paying, you're recruiting, they work your time zones. We used to go as far with this as making the appointment 8:43 instead of 8:45. And if they were 2 minutes late, we didn't let them in the meeting. Make it difficult for them to satisfy the rules. Then you invite everybody to the same slot. And you're going to open the call with, hey there, this is a group interview. And just to let you know, we're going to be hiring 3 people. All 3 of you will get paid. This is not a competition. And you repeat it. We're going to be hiring 3 people. All 3 are going to get paid. It's not a competition. Now, the beautiful thing is humans are going to compete. They're going to compete. That's what we do. So you put 3 people in the same room and tell them it's not a competition, they're going to compete. But don't sacrifice or pressure their cash. By the time you've gone through this, every person in the room knows how to do the job, right? If you've limited the job description, they all know how to do the job. So you no longer need to validate their portfolios. You don't need to validate can do what they do. What you're then going to do is pick on one person. So you're going to, so say Whit, what was your reaction when I said this is a group interview? And you're going to let Whit talk. And then you're going to tell Whit to throw the ball to somebody else on the call. You're not going to structure the next part of this conversation at all. You're just going to ask a random question. Lee, what did you think about what Whit said? Chloe, did this time of day work for you? What were you up to half an hour ago? Anything. Just talk shit. I don't care what you say at this point. Because all you're watching is how they engage with each other. That's all you're watching. There is only one question that you get all of them to answer. And it sounds something like this. So Kevin, before I let you go, could you just tell me just one moment from your past where you've worked with someone or interacted with somebody and what the results were? So one question about your past where you've worked with someone or interacted with somebody and what the results were. Here's all you're looking for. Do they mention somebody beneath them, equal to them, or above them? If they mention somebody above them, run away. This piece of advice, by the way, is from Bezos, not from me. You are looking for people that say, yeah, I remember when somebody new joined the team and they needed help with X, and I was really happy to help them. People that want to lift other people up are who you want to work with. You do not want to work with somebody that is defined by how they kiss ass. Because you can assume that everything they've just told you for the last 45 minutes is utter bullshit. Because they're telling you what you want to hear. I said, this is a Bezos tactic, and I found it works very, very well. Okay, so we're going to run the ad. We're going to be very specific with the ad, add a random question in, and then we're going to run a group interview, and we're going to tell them that 3 people will be hired. We're going to bring 3 people on to do the same work at the same time, and you're just going to bounce the ball between them, and you're just watching their faces. Like, you'll see it. Like when Deborah passes to Chloe, not Michelle, Michelle's brow will furrow. It's like, oh, okay. So you're triggered by the fact that you haven't been called on yet. Interesting. How's that going to work in a group dynamic? Okay, it's so fun to watch as it develops. And you just like throw lob balls in. And if somebody gets stressed, you jump back to them. And then if Deborah goes to Chloe and Michelle and Chloe was the one getting all antsy, you go, actually, I want to skip Chloe. Let's go to Michelle. You screw with the order as well. Amp up the pressure on everyone. And at the end, whichever 3 you feel most comfortable with, hire all 3, pay all 3. They then report through Slack or WhatsApp or instant message, whatever you use, however you run your business, and you tell them very specifically, I will not answer questions if you send them to me directly. I will only answer your questions in the public space. This is the crucial piece of this. Because if, say, we hired Deborah, Michelle, and Chloe, if Chloe had a question, I guarantee that Michelle and Deborah will be up-leveled by listening to the answer to Chloe's question. Now, Michelle then asks a question as well. Now what happens is Deborah feels that she's being judged for being dumb because she hasn't asked a question and Michelle and Chloe have. By putting the 3 people in the room together, you're forcing everybody to up level. And you're not threatening the money. It is the most assertive, non-aggressive way to up level the results of everybody. At the end of the job, you say, thank you very much. Really appreciate you all. I don't even bother giving feedback as to whose work I'm keeping and whose work I'm not. If they impress me, they will go back in the pool for the next round, because where people go wrong with this is they do this again and they're like, oh, Mitch did great work on that copywriting, so we'll employ Mitch again. No. The reason Mitch did great work is because he was competing with Lee and Tom. So we don't put Mitch back in on his own. We put Mitch back in with Mark and Kevin. And then Mitch could produce this again. Within months of running this, you've got 50 people in every single category that you need. You've got a dozen copywriters, a dozen designers, a dozen funnel people, a dozen automation people. You're like, oh, you've now got a plethora of talent. Now, here's one thing you might say. My business model couldn't afford that. Okay, good. We got this new tool called AI. Sort your business model out. If you can't afford to employ 3 people at $20 an hour instead of 1 person at $20 an hour, it is not the $20 an hour that's the problem. It's your business model. We used to sell, the business I got to $1 million on this was brand guidelines. We sold them for $15,000 a piece. And on average, we spent $480 per run. We spent $480 across 3. On average, they would have one at 200, one at 100, one at 180, that kind of number. And we sold them for between $10,000 and $15,000 each. And we were completely de-risked. Like, no, there was no risk on our side at all because there was 3 people. One of them always came through. Now, I don't know. Every time I teach this, people go, this is absolutely genius. Where did you learn it? I'm like, I was just the dumb guy that never had a job. So I had to figure out how to fix stuff myself. And when I employed one person, they let me down. Because I'm a bad hirer, as Liz and Kari will attest to. Because I believe in people. And I want to see the best in them. So I'm like, yeah, this person's going to be great. And every so often I'm right, but more often than not, I'm not. Putting them in the 3 solves the problem. Okay, so here's some other little tools to help you in this endeavor. On this sheet here, I've got a group interview debriefer. So when you load this up, you're going to put in the job spec and you're going to put in the transcript of the call. And it's going to give you its thoughts and on who it thinks might be good for the job. We spoke through the magic, pay everyone, explain the rules. Oh, 1 weekly meeting as well. Sorry. So you have the Slack or the WhatsApp and you do 1 meeting for half an hour with them. So the net of the project is going to take you half an hour of your time. Pay all 3. You get a real comparison. You will up level the results tenfold. 1 meeting a week. They ask the questions in advance. All feedback is in public. Next time you run it, you run the same thing again. So we've got 3 GPTs in here, I believe, in total. Yeah. 1 is the bulletproofer. So this is going to take a job description and go, this is where this is going to go wrong. You've missed this. You haven't been clear enough about this, etc. Second is the actual job posting GPT, which will help you formulate, this is the role I'm looking for. This is the person. Next one is group interview debrief. And then that is it. Yeah, that's it. Now, last little word of warning. When should you hire your first employee? And so this is contractors. Now I'm talking about employees. And I'm even a full-time contractor. I'm still counting as an employee. I'm not making legal definitions. I'm full-time versus project work. Okay. So when should you hire somebody full-time? When you want to scratch your eyes out for the 5th day in a row and not before. Adding employees, adding full-time people causes problems that you don't even know that you don't know yet. And all your human problems are your worst problems. There is nobody of any stature, of any size, of any business that would disagree with me on any of these. If you took 5 employees that were misaligned or a cash flow crunch, every entrepreneur I would say would take the cash flow crunch. Yeah, please. So I don't have to put up with other people. Sign me up. I'm not saying don't hire people. I'm not saying don't hire people. I'm not saying don't hire people. I'm saying that the act of hiring people will create problems as well as solve problems. The second warning I want, Lisa, I'm going to come to questions at the end or comments. The second thing I want to say on this is please don't assume because somebody happens to be in the Philippines that they have infinite amount of skill sets. They don't. The amount of people I run into who go, yeah, I've hired a VA and she's going to do my accounts and my social and my bookkeeping and my calendar and my email. I'm like, wow, you've managed to find the unicorn because that person doesn't exist in North America, Canada, or Europe. But you've managed to find somebody that happened to cost $800 that has the skill and talent to do all of those things. Wow, that's amazing. You're about to get really disappointed when you find out they probably can't do any of them. Hire people for one role, one job. And if that means you need to hire part-time, not full-time, hire part-time, not full-time. Solve the problem you have, but just be aware that it's going to introduce 10 new problems at the same time. For as long as you can, stay as a solopreneur with an 85% margin. Just trust me, and you're not going to listen. Some of you are just not going to listen, and you're going to remember this and go, you know what, he was absolutely right. Because every single person hires too early in their journey as a solopreneur to an entrepreneur. Every single person does it. Every single person got warned about it, and every single person regrets it. I'm not saying you're not going to find great people. We've got amazing people on our team. I love my people. But the majority of the problems in the business are human problems. Long live AI. Okay, so advertise the role, be specific in the role, hire exactly for what you need, hire if it's a project, hire 3 times over, and get rid of 2. Pay them all. And make sure your business model accounts for that math. And we'll share the gamma. Okay, Lisa first, and then any other thoughts, comments, questions, sarcastic remarks on this or anything else. Lisa.
Okay. Thank you. I love it. I've averaged about 10 VAs a year. Yearly for the past 14 years. So I'm with that. The one thing I've had a challenge getting around, Irina says she does it anyway, is when you go to do a group interview and you try to give them an outside Zoom link, Upwork comes up saying you're not allowed to go outside of them. So I actually never put it in there anyway, despite I found a way to put it into a PDF, send the PDF with the link in it, and to do it. But is there another way around it other than that?
No, so I've never got in trouble with Upwork and Five when we do these because I think I've run so much money through their account now. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to avoid you paying them directly, which I agree with. That's their business model.
Right.
They want to get paid. I still always pay them through Upwork, so no one ever has any issue. But the best way we've put like Zoom space in brackets US question, like, yes, you do have to do a bit of that in order to get it through. But I never thought of the PDF approach. That's a good approach.
Okay. And then as you're doing with the different positions, I don't know if I just missed something in it. You said about having hundreds for each thing. So everything I'm in agreement with this as you're sharing it. But when you're doing it, I've been doing it as like a 400 a month and 500 a month after the first one. I spend more time training them, especially with AI, because I find out they don't really actually have that education. And I do it all as a group. I leverage WhatsApp. Is there anything that you're using specifically for training them that would allow you to just meet them once a week? Because I literally invest 3 months with them, but I also have several of them I have people 14 years, 8 years, 5 years, 3 years. So
Yeah, so this methodology really works more for project people. So if you take like copywriting, for example, I'll bring somebody on and say, I'm looking for a copywriter to write email sequences for X. It's a 9 email sequence. They must be highly converting, highly impacting. You must have demonstrable proof of working with a coach or consultant in the space of mass marketing. where you have handled list sizes of 10,000 and driven 40% response rates, 40% open rates and 10% response rates, any application that does not include measurable proof of the above will be discounted. So I negate the need to train because I just hire the person that can prove they've already done it. And that will often mean I could end up with people working simultaneously. I've had one where one person was on $100 an hour and another person was on $3 an hour. And I was like, you're hired. I don't care. Like I will pay to not have to train.
Okay, so that was the other question, is how much are you charging? So when you're putting the ads out, and if it's a case-by-case project basis, what are you basing the prices on? Because I also know I'll hire people that say they're $50 an hour and I'll get them for 12 or 15. You know, I mean, I'll go higher. I don't mind doing that as well. I'm a proponent of getting quality versus just getting the cheapest. So I'm there with that. But what are you benchmarking? Are you looking now with AI and saying, what should this go with? What should the price go for? Or if we're looking at that,
so I use Upwork's average, and then I'll go back to everybody and say, listen, as you know, we're going to be hiring 3. Your rate does provide me a problem. That doesn't mean I'm going to say no, but is this legitimately the best rate that you can give? And then if you look down the previous work,
that's what I do. You see what they've taken. So they're asking 50, but they took 12, or they asked for 20 and they've taken 7.
Yeah, so I'm like, you just took 12 in your last 3 jobs, so 50 doesn't really work.
Right.
And then I'll get them to revise their offer. But even then, I still won't try and push them down too much. Now, I think I have to be quite careful with this because I come across, obviously, as quite certain, and I'm not a small guy. So if I put too much pressure on people, they can often say yes, but they didn't really say yes. They're not actually happy with the deal. So I normally back off that by about 10-20% of, just because I don't want someone to say yes, go through the hiring round, put them in, and then they walk out 3 days later because actually they just agreed to something they don't want to agree to. So I probably overpay a little bit from that, if I'm being honest.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Great information. Thank you. And where do we get the links? They're going to come after for those 3 links?
Yeah, the gamma's going to come in at the end of this, and then the links will be in the thing that's issued in the next couple of days. And the gamma will include the links as well.
Thanks. Okay.
Right, welcome. The only place that I don't know if you can do this, by the way, is for everybody's social media accounts, because really you do need a consistent message that's going out on social media. So employing like 3 editors at the same time with 3 different viewpoints can get a bit trolling. In those cases, I'd rather set up a dummy account for all 3 and have them all run a dummy account to begin with, and then see which one I wanted to take forward. But that's about the only time really this gets hard. But like, if you want people that have got experience with AI, which you should, ask them for proof of the prompting. Right? Just make that proof whatever it is you need, because if you interview somebody, they are telling you the best version of themselves. Right? That's the very nature of interviewing. They're going to tell you the best. What you want to know is, can you actually work with them? And the reason I do the group interview is because you're going to employ them in a group capacity. So you want to see how they're going to work with other people. Are they going to interrupt people? Are they going to disagree with people? If Mark is talking and Alejandro disagrees, is Alejandro going to have the chutzpah to actually go, I think Mark's wrong? Like, sometimes that happens. Like, I've let 2 candidates argue with each other. I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. Now I really get to find out who these 2 people are. Like, how are they going to handle that dynamic? So the more you can do to just amp up the pressure in a nice way, the better you get. Liz, have I missed anything in the chat?
No. And so what is the maximum number of people that you would have in a group interview?
However many want to show up. I've never seen it go above 20, but the maximum is normally about 10 to 12. As Lisa said, once they figure out this Zoom link, that gets rid of people. If you discount people that aren't fluent in English, that, like, I'm so harsh in my cuts, and the amount of people that have exactly the industry specific knowledge that you're looking for really isn't it. You know, you get 10, you'll be really happy.
Okay, how does Upwork compare to Fiverr or any of the others? Are they all much for muchness, or are like everything, there's some that do better things better than others?
No, that's a great question. So Upwork and Fiverr are kind of the opposite sides of the spectrum, and they've both started adding bits that blend in the middle. But their pure versions is Upwork is people per hour. So there's $20 per hour, $30 per hour, $3 per hour, $8 per hour, and they're going to work for you for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, however long, on doing whatever you say. Whereas Fiverr is project based. So Fiverr is people go on a marketplace and say, here's my offer. Like, I have a bronze, silver, and gold package for creating a pitch deck. And in the bronze package, you get this, and in the silver package, you get this, and in the gold package, you get this. And when you buy the gold package, you're going to fill in these sets of questions, and I'm going to deliver the thing. So the time when I would use these both, it's a great question, is I would use Fiverr if I was buying something I didn't know how to do. So if I had no idea how to lead the process, like, you never saw this, but when I did the Extreme Path, I wanted a rap song for my opening.
I did see it, but I have tried to blank it out of my memory.
It is traumatic, I agree. So I don't know how to hire somebody to produce music, so I didn't ever try and do that on Upwork. That I did on Fiverr. I need someone to write me a theme song. And it's like, great, tell us the genre, the thing, and here's your 3-minute song. And it came with a video as well. Yo, the Extreme Path tells the truth. All that. So if you don't know what it is you're hiring, Fiverr can often be a better route to go. But you're not going to get the flexibility and fluidity. You're going to get pretty much a one and done solution at the end of the day. So it's quicker, cheaper, but not necessarily better.
Right.
Lisa just said Upwork can do screen grabs as well. So it can actually grab their screen whilst they say they're working. The other good thing about Upwork is it's per minute pricing, not per hour pricing. So if they hit the start work button and the stop work button for 38 minutes, you're paying for the 38 minutes, not for the hour. So you'll often find Upwork is incredibly cost effective in comparison to what you think it's going to be.
Okay. And then when it comes to AI tasking, custom GPTs, obviously now you can share projects, which is a very different kettle of fish. Or would you Claude artifacts, or would you keep it in Gem? Because obviously that has a cost saving. Like, where would you concentrate the training and the tasking?
So this kind of goes back to Lisa's question of, I don't focus on the training at all. Like, in all honesty, if you want to employ somebody to write copy and they don't use AI, well, if they're just as good, why do you care? Like, the point here is entrepreneurs is to get whatever leverage you can. So we shouldn't be using AI for the sake of using AI. So if somebody comes along and they want $3 an hour and they can write great copy and they hate AI, well, fantastic. Then I get great copy at $3 an hour. Right? Why do I care? Now, what I would say then is tooling them. I would look to provide custom GPTs and give them the custom GPTs versus setting up an account for them or allowing them access to projects or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, why do you care? Like, let's say if somebody does data analysis. So let's say you employ somebody to look over a Facebook ad account and tell you what's working and what's not. Why do you care? Like, if they use AI or not, as long as the price point for what you buy is valid, why would you care?
Because they can do infinitely more work and be more effective. Like, it seems, and this may be a conversation that we should have later over tea rather than in front of an audience, but here we go. Why would you not want to enhance the people that you are giving money to? Like, if you are paying them, like, yes, obviously potentially slightly different if it's on a single project or product creation. But if you are building a relationship with a VA, why would you not want them optimized to deliver at double, triple the potential? Like, and why would you not want to
So
invest in
let's just draw the distinctions here. you're mixing your language a bit, so I just want to make sure we're clear. What we've referred to so far as project work, and when you say employing, you're talking about full-time work or ongoing work.
Mhm.
So in the space of ongoing work, I agree with you. Build a team, educate the team, invest in the team, give to the team. If, Ali is in the middle of a typhoon, send the money so that she can get out of a typhoon, because they're your people. And I think you have a duty of care and a duty of growth and an ownership that says, if they're your people, you help your people. You help grow them, shape them, mold them, train them, and all the other things. If you have a contractor, not your problem.
Okay, so how would you change that hiring metrics or matrix for long-term contractors? Because our team are technically contractors.
I would get fired by my own coach and my own wife in the space of hiring and firing and running my team, because you're better at it than I am. So I don't think I'm the right one to comment. I got
Yeah, but
fired, by the way, everyone, I got fired from hiring and running my team by my own team. So, but like, let's take an example and just on the contract route, right? I love Arena. I love the work she does. I love her responsiveness. I love how she supports us. Thank you again, by the way, Arena. They rock. You're amazing. But if she says, I don't want to use AI, not my problem. If she hits the outputs we need at the times we need, in the way we need, how she goes about doing it is nothing to do with us. Now, if Rena was going to work with us because she didn't want to do her own thing anymore and we needed a merchandising manager as we grew the business out, then that's different. Now we have expectations of how we do things and that at that point we get to insist that things get done in a certain way. So in terms of how you grow a team, apparently I'm not very good at it. You can still see I've still got some trauma response to that WhatsApp text. So they should ask you, not me, is the answer to your question. Our team meetings are now like really productive and everyone's like, yeah, I did this and yeah, I did this. They never did that when I did it. They went, yeah, yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I won't do that again, sir. With you, they're like, oh, look what I just did, Lizzie. Waggy, waggy tail. Here it is, Lizzie. Like, so you tell them how to do it, not me.
well, there you go. I'm not entirely sure what to answer to that.
I am blessed that I get to work with you and how great you are and what we're doing together. And this is why, Arena, Peter Swain Inc. needs to be changed to PSI. I don't want my name on this company anymore. It's not mine. It's mine and Liz's. So future editions to merchandise, PSI, please. Next thing, I want to answer Debbie's question quickly. Are we running regular Thursday sessions on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day? Yes, 150%. And I am always really grateful when they hit Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And I will tell all of you now, and we'll tell you as we get closer to it, there will be next to no useful content whatsoever. Zero useful content. The reason that I will run these sessions until the day I die, if we're running this business, we will run them on those days, is because there's some of you in my audience that are on your own. It's not necessarily the best day for you. And if all we can do is just create 45 minutes where you can come and hang out, then we will create that. And that is the best thing I can think of that I could do with my day. But for the rest of you that you've got family and you're blessed and things are going well for you, you're not missing anything. So don't worry, like don't show up. This is not going to be anything interesting. But if you need us and that's what we can do, just be there for the day. We'll be there for the day. So,
and also for those of you with families like mine, you're also welcome to come along to this to be like, oh, I'm sorry, there's a thing. Oh,
yeah, if you need an excuse to tap out. The only time we will not run these calls is if Tottenham are in the Champions League final and it's a Thursday, but they get played on Sunday, so don't worry. And if the Jets hit the Super Bowl, but that's also the weekend and never going to happen, so don't worry. So the chance of me not running
these,
you can run the calls.
Like,
yeah, the only time I would not run them is if either of my terrible franchises hit their ultimate high spot, but it's never going to happen, so don't worry about it. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah, we should do some trademark. That's good thinking.
Yeah,
good thinking.
It's up there for thinking, my friend.
Anyone else got any comments? Oh, let's talk about what we're doing in the 2 abundance sessions whilst you look for something else for us to talk about. So abundance marketing, we're doing the we've come up with a new framework on how you put together offers and how you can grade and score an offer, which I think you're going to really enjoy. So we're going to do that. It's a bit brutal. It's actually very brutal because it uses a compounding math instead of an additional math. So if you screw one thing up, it screws up everything. But it really helps you see what's potentially going wrong. So we're doing that in abundance marketing. And then in abundance AI, we're going to walk into long form versus short form prompting. So, because when you're doing agents, the grab the invoice from the email doesn't work. You need a much, much more detailed prompt. And Jeff, I'm going to be showing that limitless thing inside that as well. And then next week, Liz, in the mastermind, see how organized we're getting. This is good, isn't it? In the mastermind next week, we're going to do my Sunday planning session. So how I plan the week ahead. A few people have asked about that. So we're going to do that next week. So we'll show you how that, and we'll put some AI magic in it. And then in abundance marketing next week, we're doing identity gaps in offers, who you need to show up as in order to earn the money you deserve to earn. And in abundance AI next week, we're doing how you take an SOP and turn the SOP into an agent.
Keeping it simple.
Keep it simple, and we're ahead of time. Anything else we want to talk about? Yes, Richard just said one thing when hiring Upwork, found it useful to look at how much they have earned historically and what their previous reviews have been. Yeah, like if they have a bad review, just chuck them out.
I was just going to quickly say, obviously this week we did the deep dive and it was a late release. So if you missed it, if you want to either, drop an email to team@Peter_Swain and then we can send you the recording and the gamma and all of that stuff, just because it would be helpful if you used it with the transcript to talk about your ideal client avatar in ChatGPT or Claude, your preferred AI, because ultimately, if you don't know who you're serving them becomes much harder.
Lizzie was brave and Lizzie was great.
Thanks.
One stage divested. Now for the next one. Richard, what you got?
How you doing, Peter?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, I took your advice from last week, and you went away. But anyway, I had this on one screen, and on the other screen, I did an Upwork. I went into GenSpark, created the list, and I've already got one applicant. So it's that quick.
Yeah, you'll get to literally, I mean, if it's like a dev or a coder or a copywriter or any kind of common work, you'll easily get over 100.
Oh, I know. And the color one is we've used that, and it all you do is ask them their favorite color, and it's amazing how many people. Peter, I have a specialty in paying attention to detail, and then they forget that. It's like, oh, okay.
That's what
It's my favorite, right? But
where
when
I've
they're detail
screenshotted
oriented.
that, and I've screenshotted that, and then I've like typed 8 question marks and then hit decline. But yeah, nowadays I don't bother so much. But yeah, and to everyone in the chat, like if they've got an incomplete project, bin them. If they say they're not available at that time, bin them. If they said sorry they couldn't make the interview because their electricity went down, bin them and invite them to apply next time. Like the point here is to understand the abundance of talent that is available to you. Like there are 1,000 people right now, at least, that know the answer to the most pressing problem in your business and can execute it for less than $50, and probably 100,000, probably 1 million. Like it's that what we're trying to get to is you don't need to accept substandard. They're out there. You've just got to be discerning enough to go, no, not my problem. Here's the 10 people that can do the job. Fantastic. 3 of you come in and do it. So yeah, the attention to detail, and then they can't answer a question. Love it. Liz, what we got? Thank you, Richard. Anything else?
One question. I don't know whether you want to talk about it here or in the next adventure, which is ChatGPT 5 has just released. What do you predict is coming next from Claude and and or any of the others, because there was also Nano Banana 2 this week.
It's only on preview. It's not out yet. It's on the cusp, but it was released it was a stealth release. So Nano Banana 2 is not officially out yet, but it's coming.
But 5.1 is, and is Claude doing it?
5.1 is. So I think that Claude skills is such an addition to Claude. We're going to see a coalescing over the next 3 to 6 months of all these approaches to skills versus MCP. There's now connectors. There's now so many different ways to achieve the same thing that they're going to start homogenizing and coming together. And I think we're going to start seeing some really useful uplift in how they work. My goal, as you know, and I will talk about this in the next session, is to get into a world of infinite math. So we've been working categorizing the levels of AI, and level 0 is you use it as a glorified email or use it as a glorified Google. Right? That's level 0. Level 1 is non-intentional use of AI. So you start intentional use of AI. So you start doing stuff like custom GPTs, but they're still human initiated. Level 2 is the thing I'm now trying to get us to, which is end-to-end delivery of value through AI. Like, how can I automate through from beginning to end so that the humans don't have to do anything in the process? And then level 3, which doesn't technically exist yet, is the co-creation of AI and you co-creating value together. So in this particular instance that we're talking about now, you'd wake up one morning and you would see a message from your AI saying, hey, I saw that you were talking about recruiting for this job on Slack. Just so you know, I posted the job on Upwork. 15 people applied. I followed our methodology. I interviewed 4 people last night. These 3 people are ready to start tomorrow. You're like, what? What just happened? And it's when you essentially have a co-CEO. That was the 3rd level. So second is end-to-end delivery of value. So we're just trying, we're now seeing that there is, in the next 6 months to a year, that jump from level 1 to level 2 is where people are going to have to be. Of like, okay, we've maxed out how do we use AI intentionally. We now have to get to how can AI deliver value end to end, which we will start talking about in a second. Thank you all for being here. You are worthy, you are welcome, you're wonderful. We love you, you're amazing. House rules in arrears.
Wait, hold.
And we're at time.
Can everybody super fast, whilst the music plays, put their takeaway in the chat?
Takeaway in the chat, yes. Takeaway whilst the music's playing. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, team. Tell us where the wins were.
Takeaways in the chat whilst the music plays us out. Music plays out.
Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated, all tied up, no more love, and I'd hate to see you waiting. Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing, didn't have a dime but I always had a vision, always had high hopes. Had to have high hopes for a living, didn't know how but I always had a feeling I was gonna be.
Your rock.